Hello, welcome to another day of my vlog. It is 11:07 a.m. in the morning in Copenhagen, and I am getting ready to pack our stuff. My partner's actually at an appointment right now, and I realize that I get asked so many times whenever I wear my hair curly, how do I do it, especially if I don't have a curling iron. And so I thought I would just I do heatless curls. At the end of this video, I'm actually going to show you what it looks like. But this is the one that I like. I got it off of Amazon because it's so easy to sleep in. I recently bought the overnight blowout because I wanted to try a different look because this one actually gives me more of a ringlet look. And I did not like the overnight blowout one because my hair did not hold. For some reason, my hair holds really well with this if it's in ringlets. But when I did the blowout, I even wore it on the plane at night because we did an overnight flight. And it was so uncomfortable airplane seats are obviously uncomfortable to sleep in anyway. But when you add the overnight blowout rods, it was so uncomfortable because you do one on the top and you have two on the back, and they're so bulky and big and not soft. This is actually really soft and moldable. So when you are a side sleeper, it's nice. But then when you do sleep on your neck, it is a little bit harder because you have these in the back. So basically it's just you twirl it. Oh, you'll see. But anyways, I'm here. The TV's like in the frame, but whatever. There we go. I am here packing my stuff. We got to go. We have to catch a train. We're going to this area called Calling, and it is outside of Copenhagen. It's my partner calls it this, like, I mean, basically it's a suburb slash like forest. So it's like a different part of Denmark. And I've always just been in Copenhagen whenever I visit. So obviously it's a city, it's different than other parts. And this is where he's from. So I'm super excited. We're going to go visit his mom, his sister, go visit his other friends that live in the area. So basically this is the beginning of home tours. So if you watch The Bachelor, if you don't watch The Bachelorette, so basically they reach a certain point in the season where the last three remaining people get to go visit the homes of each of the contestants' places. So obviously the Bachelor, Bachelorette, and then like whoever the last contenders are. And so we just make a joke out of it and call it hometown visits. So this begins my actual hometown visits of going to all the different neighborhoods. But I'm packing right now, try and make use of it rather than just sitting. I love get ready with me videos. So I figure I just talk to you while I am getting ready. Oh, and here it is. Here are like the overnight blowouts. These ones I did not like. So maybe I'll just go give it to my girlfriend because she has really good thick hair that will probably hold the curls, but mine just didn't. So, but I will say this is my third time in Denmark. I am starting to love it because um, obviously it's summer here, so it's actually really, really nice. And every day you basically go swimming in the channels. I talked about it before earlier that so we're staying in this neighborhood called Nordhavn. And it is really nice because a lot of people come here, they swim in the different channels. And actually, maybe I'll just put it right here. Bear with me. Get this around. And basically, my partner says it's fresh water, meaning the temperature is fresh. It is basically cold plunging. You are cold plunging. To me, I consider it cold plunging. I'm not the type of person that loves super hardcore cold plunging. So for me, it's like cold plunging temperature. And it is cold. It is cold, but eventually your body regulates, it gets used to it. And so it takes me probably like 10, maybe 5 minutes to feel like it feels really good. But no, it's basically cold plunging. And I realized that yesterday it was warm. It was probably in the 70s, but then it also had clouds. There was still like a little bit of wind. And if you're in the shade, it was really cold. But then when you're in the sun, it's really hot. And that's typically that is their summer. So you're still wearing different layers, not shorts, but it's probably, I would say, considered a nice day in California, like spring weather. Spring weather is their 90 degrees summer weather here. And people really love it. So that's why there are so many people out on the docks just swimming, really, really big. Danes here have really temperamental weather. If you try and check out a week beforehand for the whole weather forecasting, you can't rely on it because every single day it just changes. But today is actually really beautiful. But when we checked the weather this morning, it was supposed to be cloudy. So you can't really rely on the weather, what's being told, all of that stuff. But I am starting to really like it. I remember when I first came here and I visited my partner 3 years ago, I did not as much. I think it was because we were in a different time and place in our relationship. It was literally when I first started dating him. He had only visited me for 2 weeks and then I came out here for 2 months. So we were literally dating and living together for the first time. And I was in a different country. Obviously, when you're beginning stages, you're a little bit insecure in the relationship because you just don't know each other. And I know that it was a big step in our relationship for me coming out here and then all of a sudden him realizing, oh shit, I have to introduce her to my friends and blah, blah, blah. So it was almost like he didn't understand the gravity of asking me to be his girlfriend until I came here. It's like, oh, what? So that was really funny. And I think that's why I probably didn't like it because I would say Danes, they are very cold when you meet them. So this is typically known of them that they're unemotional in that sense. The only time you'll see them super emotional is probably when they're really drunk and there's just a huge drinking culture. There was a movie about the Danes and drinking, forget the name of it, last something. Actually, maybe let me go look it up. Bear with me. Yeah, Last Round. That's what it was called. Okay, Last Round. And so that just really depicts it is a heavy drinking culture here. But I just remember I don't know, I guess I was kind of shocked. And at that point, I was just super in love with Amsterdam. I really wanted to live in Amsterdam. Actually, I didn't really have a desire to come to Denmark. It wasn't something like a tourist destination for me, even though I know for some people it is because they're just like, oh my God, I want to go to Copenhagen, da 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 da. I remember I was supposed to go to Copenhagen spring of 2020, but then obviously the COVID happened. So yeah, so when I visited him, I didn't know Danish people were cold, and so I remember meeting his friends. And I mean, the thing that I love is that they all speak English really, really well, so you never feel, and they will speak English to you. So it's not like you'll get lost in conversation or they don't know how to say things. They're really good at translating. They just speak really good English. Some countries you visit, they don't. And so it's hard to get it around and navigate, but here they're great. But I remember visiting his friends and, getting to know them. And then my partner, he said, oh, they like you, they think you're nice. And I was confused because from now, like learning about American culture compared to different cultures, we Americans were super friendly up front. We're just like, hi, da, 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 like let's be BFFs. And other cultures that just take a really long time for them to warm up to allow them to become into their circle. I know for other people who are different races, when they come work here, they feel a little bit excluded because one of the wives of his friends I was talking to, she's actually from Ukraine. And she said that she's been here for a year and nobody really talks to her. They don't invite her anywhere. And then I've had another friend who did consulting here and they said, yeah, they kind of just keep to themselves. I tried to talk to them, but they don't want to hang out. And I know that my partner here too, like he's less likely to make new friends because the friends that he has and we hang out with, they're all from school of when they were little children. So it's like, imagine hanging out with your friends from kindergarten and grade school. And you go with them to high school, like you have your same group of friends for the rest of your lives. And because you're with them, You just don't have a desire to make new friends. So that's why it's just super exclusive. But I told him if we ever moved here, I would probably just make all friends with expats. Because that's me. Like I can't live in a homogenous place. And although people say Denmark is homogenous, I do see that. Like I can definitely spot out a Dane. And like the women here are gorgeous. They just have beautiful soft skin and blonde hair. They just look so cute. But I will say this time around, yeah. So going back to my story. So by the way, I was just, yeah, I couldn't understand. I said, why did they like me? I didn't actually get that from our conversation that they did. And so that just showed me, oh, they're not really emotive people. But the more time you spend with them, they will be very, very loyal to you, meaning like you have a friend for life. So it's all about like building that relationship over time. So it's, slowly I think of like boiling, right? Whereas Americans, it's like hot, super fast. So yeah, so that was my first impression, and we were newly dating, and it was it was really hard transition for me to be here. I was working out here for 2 months. I was working California hours, which was absolutely effing insane. And I remember when I was working at the co-working space, I wouldn't come in until 4 p.m., which was 7 a.m. California time. And there was a Slack community that you can join to connect with other people. And I wrote everyone, I said, hey, my name is Lisa. I'm new from the States. I'm going to be here for 2 months and would like love to grab coffee, lunch with anyone. And people wrote me back in the thread or DM'd me, and they said that it was very forward of me to say that and very welcoming, because it's just unheard of to go out of your way to make new friends. And so I thought, well, how am I going to make any friends if I'm in a new place? Like, of course, I'm going to talk to strangers. I'm the type that likes talking to anybody. But here they'll think you're crazy if you do that. Like you don't just normally talk to people when you're in line. It's just kind of weird. But I will say that I'm starting to really like it. I love doing the swimming in the morning. And because it's my third time, obviously I've met his family, my partner's family, and they're just really nice. And so I'm like, oh, okay. So I'm starting to like it. It's not so bad. To smell this. Oh, still clean. Still clean. But it's, yeah, so I'm actually surprised because I always tell them, oh, I don't want to go to Denmark and people here aren't friendly and it would just be really hard. And, and then actually coming here has made me really like, I love that I come here because then I get to learn more and more different side of my partner and meet all his different friends. And then today I get to go over and see where he's from and see the school that he went to when he was little. And then I also talked to one of his friends, partners who also visited us while we were out here in San Francisco. And she's pregnant with her second child, and she, was telling me about all the different benefits they have. And like you just really I see so many women that are pregnant. I see so many freaking kids everywhere and dogs everywhere. And then I started noticing that it's more diverse. There's a lot of tourists that are, traveling right now because it's summer, which is really nice. And so the homogeneity that I saw before, I'm not seeing it now. And I'm wondering, I'm like, okay, it's probably because I was in a different emotional space when I first came here back in 2021 versus now. And then, oh, hi.
I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, we're checking out at 12.
Try?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Thank you. Okay, that was just the cleaning lady. And I remember, obviously it's just, I was at a different place. It was 2021. And now I'm just seeing all these, different things that I didn't see before, which is actually really cool. And so here you just feel really supported by the government. You get money for having children. So you basically get a stipend every single month for having children. My friend, she said, I think it's around, was it either $1,700 or $1,200? I don't know. And then there's an opportunity to take a child to forest kindergarten, which is part of the school system. It's not additional money. The only inconvenience is that you have to pick up and drop off the child at a certain time. So sometimes people, they won't necessarily want to do that because it's inconvenience for them. It's like early in the morning you have to do that and then pick them up, I think around like by 3 or 4 o'clock. But the children are out all day. They get to hang out with animals. Like it's nature school. And I thought, oh my gosh. And so when I really think about the benefits of raising children here, oh my gosh, this is really like, it doesn't get better than this in the world. Like if you want to raise, like this is the most idealistic place you could raise a child. It truly, truly is. And it's just, I can see why people are the happiest, or it's considered one of the happiest places in the world. Because if, you know, and also when you even like education is paid for in a sense that, you know, you don't come out of college with debt, and you get this sense, you don't feel this pressure of having to be the best in school, because there isn't necessarily this competition to get into the best school, because you know you will always be able to go to school. Not like in America where you have to, it's just run on this capitalistic society where you really have to throw and invest money in order to be the best. And here the government really supports you. And so I noticed that a lot of people, you will be able to have, you'll be able to choose occupation based off of passion or what you love rather than money or what's going to give you the most money, because you actually have a really good quality of life here. And so imagine a society where you're not constantly thinking about, oh, you know, I need to have this amount in order to afford this and have my child go to the best school and da da da. It's just something that just kind of flips our society upside down. And it's very, very fascinating to me. Where I'm like, wow, I can't believe people live like this here. But yeah, I was very surprised, very shocked. Now I'm trying to think like, oh, how should I rearrange this? That's fine. And so that has made me more receptive to potentially moving in the future. I know that if we do have a child in California, that I told them, I said, you can claim your child, they can get Social Security here. You have to just make sure that you register the child so she can have a Danish passport. Because how nice would that be to be able to have that opportunity for your child, right? And yeah, so I guess it's, yeah, I mean, I love the fact that some of his friends, they have wives that are non-Danish, and so you get to hear their experience of acclimating, learning the language, going to language school. And if I were to come here, I would have to be sponsored. I forget how much money it would have to be. Then it'd be in this bank for 10 years. And I have 10 years to pass all of these tests of learning the language. And I think every single time you pass the test, you get money deducted from it. But basically it is, they make it really, really hard for you to get citizenship here, honestly. And even if you had a baby, you could be separated from the baby and you would have to apply for reunification or family reunification, something like that. So that was pretty interesting to me. I was like, oh, okay. They'll kick you out. So that's just, you know, and then I think you would also have to work. I don't know. I'm like, there's like so many different things of like ways you could do it. And what would be considered citizenship. I think citizenship is 10 years. In America, it's 5 years. Here you wait, you have to, and then I think 4 years you have to also work. But then after you do the 4 years, then it would be from, and then after 4 years, then it would be from 0 to 10. Then that would be included. But yeah, I mean, I fully don't understand the context of it, but those are different things that I picked up of like, oh, okay. You have to really do your research then. And yeah, but I am pretty surprised that I am loving it. I love being able to swim in the morning. I am a little tired of bread, butter, and cheese. Everything they do has such amazing quality. It's so, so tasty, really good. Good cups of coffee. Like everything is just really good. The only thing that isn't good is matcha here. You can't really. There are some places you can get matcha, but no, not really. Not like in the States, which is fine. It's like, okay, here people, they love their coffee. I learned that they were the second country that consumes most coffee. The first one is Finland. So, but here they love their coffee, and typical breakfast is just butter, bread, and cheese. Comte cheese or Comte cheese, and a soft boiled egg. There you go. That is the breakfast. So we finally went to a place super popular, Atelier September. I think that, yeah, AS, very popular on TikTok. And they had egg there. I was super happy to eat like an actual omelet other than just bread, butter, and cheese. But tired now. But overall, I'm enjoying it. Enjoying learning more about the country. And I think that also a big change of heart was knowing, I mean, obviously he's my partner. And I said to myself, Lisa, you're going to be coming here probably minimum once a year, every year. So, and this is how I apply the tantric principle of just finding the divinity in everything and learning to see the divine in everything. And, just being curious and being present and trying not to project things. And if I am projecting things, just being like observing of it, noticing it, and just really being open-minded and seeing what I didn't see before. And I would say, yeah, it has been, working. It's all the spiritual practices that I've done. And I think, sometimes when you do things, a spiritual practice every single day, you don't really understand when you'll need to withdraw from that spiritual reserve. And so whenever I work with my clients, I always say to them, whenever you pray, whenever you meditate, whenever you go inwards, whenever you journal, it's all about going inwards and using that spiritual reserve for something else, right? You might not recognize it in the moment, but it is there. And so just having that perspective and seeing that and realizing, okay, I'm probably going to come here every year. So what can you find that you like about it? What can you find? Where can you find the divine in it? And so that has really helped me change my perspective. And so that's probably why, also it's summer here, so people are very more open, they're soft and they're nice. And so I started noticing that. I'm like, oh, people are friendly here. They're smiling, which is, before where I thought, oh my God, they're so cold here. But if you do have a conversation with someone, they are willing to speak to you. But yes, okay. I'm gonna do this. I was like, okay, I'm gonna wrap up. But this is probably, this is the longest vlog I did since I've been here, 23 minutes. But this is what it looks like. Okay, it looks like I have long hair. So funny. And so you tie it towards the end. Oh gosh, I'm starting to get sleepy now, but no, it takes me about 3 days to not feel jet lag when I travel. Okay, see? Oh my God, isn't it amazing? Like, look at this. Looks like I literally took a curling iron. See, so you don't need to bring an adapter for all of your electronics, right? Okay. And then usually it's probably better to start at the bottom. Like usually I like starting at the temple, but then here I started, earlier, but it's fine. But it's a little flat on top. But yeah, see? Super cute. Yeah, and then throughout the day, it loses its volume, so it won't be as, as voluminous and as curly. But, and also throughout the week, it gets a little bit like a softer wave pattern, but I love it. No need to curl. This is what I did in Vegas the whole time. I just did my heatless curls and I actually got other people hooked on it too. But this is the softest. Literally looks like a robe string, which you can do, right? You can do that. But yeah, this is how I do my hair. But next time I'll probably start from here rather than up there. But yeah. All right, signing off. We'll do another vlog tomorrow and I will talk to y'all later. Bye.